Alright, hello, welcome to just a short stream today. Of course, it is that time of the week again. We had a break from it last week because of international duty, but we are back now figuring out who is going to be the winners, losers, and I guess the drawers in this week's predictions for the Premier League. It is the match week 5 predictions. I've got my scorelines ready to go, so I'm just getting ready to set this all up. I think the teams are as they should be. Manchester United versus Brighton. I think we're at Old Trafford, didn't we? Check that actually. Jordan put goal live, mate, 20 minutes before I went live, so it's kind of on time. Right, yeah, Man United are at home for this one. Right, so without further ado, let's get into it, and I'll get the predictions that I put earlier up on the screen. Did I save them? Oh shit, did I save them? Oh, bollocks. Hold on a minute. I don't think I saved my fucking... I put all the scorelines down, but I don't think I saved them. Oh, mate. Hold on. But while this loads up, I'm going to try and fix it. Just for reference as well, I put everyone that shouldn't be playing in the reserves. So if they come on, then that's not my problem. I don't know what to tell you. It didn't save my fucking... Oh, fuck's sake, right. Gonna fill these in quickly while game's loading up. I also got to sneeze, the usual. Right. Got these scorelines in. Phone, help me out here. Like I said, everyone that shouldn't be in the team is not in the team. We do have two goalkeepers because there's a bloody injury crisis as well. Right, now don't fuck this up. Just, there we go. Sorted. I'll do my update in a second. My phone needs an update apparently. Right, there we go. Sorted. As the game gets underway here. I think I've got everyone out that shouldn't be in. If there's anyone I've forgotten, then I don't know what to tell you. There's about 20 injuries at Manchester United. There's a few injuries at Brighton, which I think I've managed to sort out with no real issue. Oh, man. So Manchester United hosting Brighton in today's match. Onana nearly getting beat early by João Pedro. Brighton are going to smash us. Yeah, they're absolutely going to destroy us. I've tried to go on. Like, I don't want to predict us to lose because I want us to win, but I think we are going to lose. I've predicted us not to lose though. Oh, Højlund nearly getting in. Right, let's get these predictions going. So the first game of the week will be at the Molineux. It is Wolves hosting Liverpool. Now Wolves, their big struggle so far, as we knew it would be, is finding the back of the net, struggling to find goals. And Liverpool have had, I hate to admit it, have had quite a good start. Darwin Núñez has been playing very well as well. I've got to give him credit where credit's due. And I don't see anything other than the Liverpool win here, to be honest with you. At the Molineux, it's going to be difficult for Wolves. If they can get a goal early, they might catch him on the break, or they might catch him out cold, I don't know. But I think at the moment, Liverpool are probably strong favourites for this one. And I've said a 2-0 win. I feel like Wolves won't score again, which I should maybe not back that, but I don't think they will. I think it's going to be a win, and I think it's going to be quite an easy win. I don't know if it's going to be a huge win, because the Wolves do have a decent defence and a very good goalkeeper. They could probably prevent it from being double figures or anything like that, but it will definitely be a win for Liverpool. I've gone for 2-0. I think 2-0 is probably about the right result. Núñez gets one, and Salah gets one, I think, in my opinion, for that one. As Brighton nearly scored there on the simulation. But yeah, I think it's going to be a 2-0 win for Liverpool. Jordan said 4-0, which could happen. It really depends on what Wolves turn up. Because if it's the Wolves that turn up against us, It's going to be a lot more of a difficult challenge for Liverpool. So Wolves that don't turn up, like they didn't against, they lost someone 4-0, but I can't remember who it was. I think it was Brighton, ironically. If that's the Wolves that turn up, then Liverpool will have a field day. Up next on the list then at Villa Park, it is Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. With two teams, they've not done too badly so far. Aston Villa, you expect a bit of success from them with the squad they've built, the manager they've got. And Crystal Palace, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know who manages them right now. I've forgotten who manager is. It's Roy Hodgson, isn't it? I think it is. But he's stayed on for another year, and he'll be looking to keep Palace up, which shouldn't be too much of a task. Onana's trying to wrestle the Brighton players there. But I've gone for a 2-1 win to Villa. I think Palace will be tough opposition, but I think Aston Villa have too much quality, and they'll overrun Palace, I think, on a couple of occasions, and that will lead to them getting a victory here at Villa Park. A 2-1 win is what I've gone for. Jordan said 3-1. Not too bad. Yeah, kind of the same thought process behind it then. Villa will have a good amount of quality. Palace will score 1, but Villa will have enough quality to see it through. I've taken Martinez out my FPL team because I don't think he'll keep a clean sheet. That's how confident I'm in Palace scoring. Up next then is a match, I would say, personally, between two relegation-threatened sides. But although Fulham might not end up being in that relegation battle, as Bruno comes close for us there on the simulation. I think Fulham are going to be struggling this year. They've not really replaced Mitrovic. Well, they've got Jimenez in, but I don't think he'll replace the goals that Mitrovic gave him last year to stay up. They've got Palhinha on a long-term contract. He's sticking around, it looks like, so it's a good, strong midfield option, but I don't know if they'll have enough. I think Fulham will stay up, but I don't know if they'll have enough to get 3 points over Luton, to be honest, because Luton put up a hell of a fight against West Ham. They put up a good fight against... who the fuck else did they put up a good fight against? Can't remember who it is. My brain's gone blank, but they did put up a fight against somebody else. As Højlund puts us in the lead on the simulation. Let's go. Big man Højlund. So I've gone here, and I don't think there's been one in the Premier League yet, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I've gone for a 0-0 draw. I don't think either team's going to be able to find the goal. Leno's very, very good in between the sticks, so it'll be hard for Luton to get through. And I just don't think Fulham have the firepower up front to find a winner, in my opinion. I could be wrong, could end up being wrong. Jordan's gone for a Fulham 1-0 win, which, fair enough. I could see it. I could see Fulham just sneaking it by 1 goal, to be honest. It's not going to be a goal-filled game, is my analysis on it. And I'm going to stick with my 0-0, but it's not going to have a lot of goals in it if it has any at all. I think that's probably a fair review of that game. Up next, then, it's the game that you're currently seeing on your screen on the simulation. It is Manchester United versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, I don't think it needs to be said in too much detail what the situation is with Manchester United. Everything seems to be going wrong right at the start of the season, which is an issue, a huge issue. We've got plenty of injuries cropping up. We've got other personal cases outside, we'll leave it at that, personal cases outside the club being dealt with Greenwood going away on loan, Anthony now under investigation. He's been suspended from the team just while the investigations are ongoing. Jadon Sancho as well, who's been poor in training, and Ten Hag called him out on it, and he's not like that, so now he's not part of the first team either until he gets his attitude sorted. And with injuries as well, plenty of injuries, not great for us right now. Brighton, on the other hand, are a team on the up, and they've got some brilliant signings in this year. Most of them seem to be fit. There's a couple of injuries, a couple of knocks perhaps along the way as well. With thankfully, I don't want to say thankfully, but I think Evan Ferguson's ruled out for the game. That might change between now and actually this video going out and the game happening. But I think as it currently stands, he might be out for the game, which I don't want to say good, but he'll probably destroy us if he's playing. Got a hat-trick last weekend. I'm going to be honest with you, it was really hard for me not to predict a loss here. Or yeah, I want to predict a loss for us. Like, I feel like if I was being balanced, I'd predict a loss for us. But we are Manchester United, and we have shithoused a couple of results already so far this season. Shithoused the result against Wolves, and we shithoused the result against Forest as well, being 2-0 down after 4 minutes and then somehow winning it. I think that Brighton will probably be the better team. I think they'll dominate us, but I think we can maybe sneak a point. I'd like to, well, when I say I think that, it's more a hope and expectation. This is probably going to be the first absolutely wrong result of the day. But the fact that we're at Old Trafford, we're good at Old Trafford, and the fact that we sometimes come up when the chips are down, I'd like to see us get a point here at the very least, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen. I'll be honest with you, I won't be surprised if it doesn't happen. Fati's going to bag on his debut, Barca scum. He probably will as well. I've just remembered, I don't think Lallana's actually in the Brighton team, but he's on the pitch at the moment, so I'll move, it's fine. But Brighton 3-1, says Jordan, with Fati bagging on his debut. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I could see it happening, but I just want to back us a little bit. Hopefully we get something out of the match. I know we won't, but you've got to back your boys somehow, sometimes. Palestri nearly making it 2-0. It's going to be a difficult game, that's for real. That's for sure. I don't even know if I'll be able to watch it. I'm hoping that I can, but I guess we'll see. It's going to be a difficult one anyway. And the last one before the half, it is Tottenham Hotspur versus Sheffield United. I think this result's only going to go one way, to be honest, with Ange coming in and taking Spurs by storm. There's some brilliant performances from Spurs so far, and especially against us. I've got to give them credit for beating us as well earlier in the season. Although we are not at our best, they were, and they took advantage of 3 points from us. And Ange has got a really good unit there. Again, the only thing you don't really have is a striker. Harry Kane, of course, away at Bayern now. Richarlison, I don't know if he can be relied on enough to get the goals. But we could put Son up there. You could put Son up there, and he's doing a job at the moment. Hat-trick last weekend. Could be going back to his best. That would be interesting to see if he can do it again, or at least score some again. But some great signings as well. Yeah, Maddison has been a great signing for them as well. It's a good feeling at Spurs for a change. I don't know how long it'll last because it usually comes crashing down. But I'm happy to see that Spurs are succeeding. Because I do have a soft spot for them, even if they did beat us. But I prefer them over Arsenal any day of the week. But yeah, it is going to be a Spurs win. I reckon 3-1 is my scoreline because they will score 3. They'll probably win it comfortably over Sheffield United. But I also feel like, at the same time, they'll have a defensive mistake like they can do sometimes, and it'll concede a goal. So I'm going 3-1. They'll have some silly mistake they'll concede. That means they'll concede, I should say, to have a goal for Sheffield United, but we'll win 3-1, in my opinion. Spurs should get Ferguson. Would be a very good signing for him, to be honest with you. I've seen him linked with Arsenal as well. He could go anywhere. He's got a good amount of talent at the moment. As long as he's not playing us tomorrow, as long as he doesn't play against us, I'm hoping the knock is enough to keep him out for the game tomorrow. I hate to say that, but I hope so. We might be able to shithouse something, but yeah, Ferguson's an incredible young talent. Anyway, we're at the half-time now on the simulation. 51 to 49 in terms of possession. 11 shots to 7 in favour of Brighton. 2.7 expected goals to 2.2 in favour of Brighton as well. We're riding our luck a little bit, just like it'll probably be in real life. But let's get to the second half and let's get on to the rest of the games. So 5 more games to predict. The next one at the London Stadium is West Ham United versus Manchester City. Now, it might seem fairly cut and dry that City are going to win this one, but West Ham, I think they've got something now. They've got a good team. They've actually done well. To say that they replaced Declan Rice, they've brought in some fantastic talent as well to make up for that. They brought in Alvarez, they brought in Kudus. I know he doesn't play where Rice used to play, but they brought in some good talent anyway. The one thing they could do as well is a striker, but they've got Antonio. They've got another guy, but I can't remember off the top of my head who the fuck it is. They've also got Jared Bowen, who seems to be kicking on from last season, which is good as well. I could see West Ham pulling off a point, but I'm not going to say that. I think it's more obvious, not more obvious, but more, what's the word? More likely that it's going to be a City win rather than West Ham stealing an unlikely point. I've gone for 2-1 Manchester City, but it's going to be a close one. I think West Ham will put them to the sword, and I think West Ham will challenge them a lot. I just don't think it's going to be their day. I don't think a lot of teams are going to have days against City this year, as per usual. And I think it is going to be a win for Man City. My brain is delayed today. I've got a massive headache, so the fact I'm doing this all probably hurts my brain a little bit more. Bruno makes it 2 on the simulation. I'm hoping this comes to fruition in real life. No, not Scamacca. They signed somebody else because Scamacca went back to Italy. Scamacca's gone back to... he went to Atalanta, I think it was. I think he's the Højlund replacement. I can't 100% remember. It's a poor clearance there from Brighton. It's just fallen to Rashford, who can knock it off to Bruno, who finds the back of the net. But yeah, I don't. It's not Skamaka. There is another one that I'm thinking of, but my brain's gone blank just now. Well, I'll probably know once I finish the stream. Anyway, 2-1 Manchester City is my prediction. Haaland, of course, will get his goal. There'll be some random goal from Rodri. There always seems to be. And then the West Ham goal will come from Bowen. Something like that. Following that, then at St James's Park, it will be Newcastle United versus Brentford. Newcastle, a team who a lot of people predicted to go back-to-back top 4. I didn't personally, because I have IQ. But a lot of people are predicting Newcastle to do the same thing again. Realistically, though, and I don't want to sound bad when I say this, they've got Champions League to think about as Ansu Fati comes off of Brighton. Fucking hell, that's a weird image. But they've got Champions League to think about. They've had a tough run for the start of the season. Maybe this is where it turns around for them. But Brentford as well, even without Ivan Toney, have not done too badly so far. And it's going to be a tough test for Newcastle. I don't really know what's going wrong at them at the moment, but I'm assuming it's just because this difficult start. I'm presuming it's a difficult start to this season. And I feel like they'll probably kick on here and find some points here. I think they'll get the 3 points. I've gone for a 2-1 Newcastle win. Brentford take the lead, I think, and then Newcastle fight back with 2 goals, one from Wilson, one from Isak, and they will eventually find a victory in this Premier League season, which has been a difficult start for them. I'll give them the credit. It's been a difficult start for them, but it gets easier now after playing against some difficult teams to open the season. Jordan's gone for a 2-0 Newcastle win, which is probably a good shout as well, but I can see Brentford sneaking a goal. They always seem to sneak a goal. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak a goal in this one as well. Up next then, my stream decided to turn itself off on my phone. Right, bear with me. Right, it's back on. Next game then, Bournemouth versus Chelsea at the Vitality Stadium. I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I've put Chelsea to draw again, and I probably shouldn't, because Chelsea, I think, are going to cook as they go on this season. But for now, I think they're going to draw again. I don't know what Ten Hag's doing, bringing off Pellistri for Reguilon, but we'll see what happens here, I guess. However, basically, I think it is going to be more of a case of Chelsea dropping points, because Bournemouth are a tough test at home. And Chelsea, again, so far, I might change, but so far have not been convincing. They've not been convincing this season. So I don't see how they're going to beat Bournemouth, to be honest. Which sounds bad, because they should be beating Bournemouth. For the amount of money they spend and the amount of talent they've got, they should be partnering Bournemouth left, right and centre. Maybe they will. But at the moment, I don't see enough of them, or from them, to still have that cohesion, to still have that consistency to get the win. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I think they'll get a point at the very least. They should win, and they probably will win. It's just, I don't know what, it's like similar to us at the moment. We're struggling, they're struggling, but we're struggling for different reasons to them, obviously. We don't go into the reasons why we're struggling. They're struggling because they can't get the team together. Bowley's just throwing money about like it's paper planes, and he's trying to put a squad together with random players that have never worked together, most of them. And of course, there's still injuries as well at Chelsea, even with some of their new signings like Nkunku. Once he comes back, I reckon he'll do well. But they do have plenty of talent, and they should have this as a 3 points, but I'm just not convinced. I've gone 1-1. Jordan's gone 2-1 Bournemouth. I could see it, honestly, I could see it. But I guess we'll figure it out when it happens. Up next then is at Goodison Park. It's Everton versus Arsenal. Again, I think it's probably another easy one to predict. Although Everton look a bit stronger with an actual striker. Beto actually looks quite good. With Calvert-Lewin, I think, rumoured to be coming back soon as well. That's another attacking option. And it's not the fact that they don't have strikers, because they do have strikers. It's the fact that the strikers can't find the back of the net, which is concerning for Everton. And realistically, I think Everton... Oh my God, bring on Harry Maguire. It's over, boys. It's over, boys. They're going to win 3-2. But Everton, they've got some good attacking options back in, although Arsenal are on fire right now, coming off the win against us a couple of weeks ago. And I think they've not lost yet. I think they've dropped points, but I don't think they've lost yet. I might be wrong on that equation as well. I don't remember the table off the top of my head. But I think it's going to be another easy win for Arsenal. They've been cooking this season. Their signings have been good, and they've been impressive when I've watched them. And I hate to say it, but they're even impressive in the... What the fuck is this video game? But no, honestly, I could see Onana doing that in real life, to be honest. But as I was saying, Arsenal have been impressive so far this season. And I think they'll win again. I've gone 2-0 Arsenal. Jordan's gone 2-1 Everton. Upset of the week, apparently. It could happen. Anything could happen in the Premier League. That's the beauty of it. But I could see why. I could see why you can predict that. But also, Arsenal have been very good, and I think they'll continue to be very good, at least for a little while to come. Final game of the predictions then: Nottingham Forest versus Burnley. Maybe the boring one of the week, to be honest. There's a couple of boring ones this week. It might sound bad because it might actually be a really good game. But I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Burnley yet to get off the mark yet, I think, but they were one of the teams that were tipped to stay out from relegation quite easily, and at the moment it doesn't look likely. I don't know what's going on there. Probably the difficult teams that they've had to face at the start of the season as well. But Burnley struggled a little bit so far this season, with Nottingham Forest actually doing alright so far. And I would back Forest to win usually, but I think Burnley have a lot to fight for in this one. I think Burnley need some points to get off the get the season going, I guess. Hit the ground running. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I think Burnley will somehow get a point here. I don't see Forest being able to put this game away. I think Burnley will be very, very difficult opponents. And although Forest are good at home, I don't know who the fuck is miles offside there for Brighton. Jesus Christ. Although Forest are good at home, I can see Burnley nicking a point from this game. I've said 1-1 between Nottingham Forest and Burnley. If it was a home game for Burnley, I'd probably back them to win. But because Burnley are travelling to the City ground, I think I could see Forest doing something and Burnley only getting 1 point. But I think Burnley need to prove themselves, and this could be the game that they finally do. You just never know in the Premier League. Jordan's gone for a 1-0 Burnley win. I could see it happening too. Oh, Maguire with the game-saving tackle. Have that. Anyway, that's going to wrap up quite a quick stream. I'm not used to these quick streams, but I like doing these little ones just to kind of have this in the background while I'm talking about the weekly games. We win 2-1 on the simulation. I'd like that to be a case repeated in real life, but I can understand why it wouldn't be. We suck at the moment, so it's not likely. However, I'd like to believe, you know? I'd like to believe. So, yep, that was the predictions once again. I can't believe Onana scored an own goal in simulation. It's almost realistic. But anyway, so just to go over the scorelines again before I exito burrito and enjoy the rest of my day. I say enjoy the rest of my day. I'm working tonight, which isn't fun. But you got to do what you got to do. So, Wolves 0, Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 1, Fulham 0, Luton Town 0, Man United 2, Brighton 2. I just want to tell you now that that's more hope than expectation. Spurs 3, Sheffield United 1, West Ham 1, Man City 2, Newcastle 2, Brentford 1, Bournemouth 1, Chelsea 1, Everton 0, Arsenal 2, and Nottingham Forest 1, Burnley 1. I think those probably, at least one of those should be correct, I think. I hope. I beg. We'll see. I don't know yet. Streaming tomorrow, any? Possibly. It really depends because I don't know what... Like, it's going to be a busy weekend where I'm working, so I don't know if I'll be called in tomorrow or not. If I'm not called in tomorrow, expect a Hartlepool career mode. If I am called in tomorrow, expect maybe an Among Us night stream. I don't know at this point. It's a busy weekend, and I'm going to be really busy next week because there's a lot of people that are going to be off work. So it's going to be me and one other person working a lot of shifts next week. So it might not be a lot of streams, unfortunately. But anyway... For tomorrow, if I do stream, it'll be a Hartlepool career mode. It's been a few days since I've done one, so we'll get into championship season again and hopefully just run through to promotion, but I know it's not going to be that easy. But you guys have enjoyed these match week 5 predictions. and I will see you next time for, I guess, match week 6 next weekend. Also, if you're watching the other series on the channel, I'll see you next time for whatever I do. Peace.